चलें Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Digital Signal Processing course. Today is the 23rd of June and we are going to discuss chapter number 7. Chapter number 7 is basically the design part of your course and it is relevant to the CLO4 and PLO3. OpenAIM consider filter as a system and specifically the low pass filter as a system. So when you start reading chapter number 7, be careful that OpenAIM repeatedly talk about low pass filter or filters. So this chapter broadly covers IIR filter design and the FIR filter design, but it begins with the IIR filter design. IIR filter are designed in the continuous domain. This is perhaps one of the difficult thing to understand. We normally design system in discrete. If we have discrete time specs, we design in discrete domain. That is the case for FIR filter, that we directly design them in a discrete domain. But in case of IIR filter, we have to go towards the continuous domain. This is little bit strange, and we'll try to spend more time on it. That why we need to move from a discrete domain to the continuous domain, and then design the filter in the continuous domain, and then come back towards the discrete domain. So we'll clear in few minutes, but let's quickly review the difference between ideal and practical filters. In case of ideal filters, probably you need one parameter, that is cutoff frequency. So beyond cutoff frequency, you have a stop band, and before the cutoff frequency, you have a pass band. Stop band and the pass band. Sorry. This is already covered in the last lecture. So this is just I'm reviewing. We already did in the last lecture. Okay. So ideal filter, you need one parameter, cutoff frequency, one pass band, the other one is stop band. The band beyond cutoff frequency is known as stop band, and the band before cutoff frequency is known as the pass band. Important thing is that the amplitude frequency magnitude of the filter in the pass band is exactly 1, and magnitude in the stop band is exactly 0. That I have written here. Magnitude in the pass band is exactly 1. Magnitude in the stop band is exactly 0, but that may not be the case for practical filter. And the modern parameter we need to consider for ideal filter is the cutoff frequency. If we move to the practical filter, so it will look like this. So we have some fluctuation in the amplitude or magnitude of the filter in the pass band. We have also the variation in the magnitude in the stop band. And third thing need to be noted that we cannot jump from 1 to 0. So we need some transition period. And transition period is basically the difference between omega pass and omega stop. That is indicated by delta W as well, right? So it's mean that we don't have a constant magnitude in the pass band, we don't have a constant amplitude in the stop band, and also we have some transition from 1 to 0. That's not the case in the ideal filter, right? So delta 1 is the parameter that basically indicates the error in the pass band. Delta 2 is the parameter that indicates the error in the stop band. And the difference between omega pass and omega stop indicates the transition between amplitude 1 and 0, right? So these 4 parameters should be in your mind while considering a practical low pass filter, right? So delta 1 is the pass band error, delta 2 is the stop band error, omega pass band frequency, omega stop is stop band frequency. And delta W can be calculated by omega stop minus omega pass, right? But that may be the reverse in case of a high pass filter. In case of a high pass filter, the situation would be reversed. So in that case, delta W can be computed, delta omega can be computed by omega pass minus omega stop, right? So be careful while defining delta W. It's different for low pass filter, high pass filter, and band pass filter. But in case of a band pass filter, you need 2 delta Ws. Why? Because you need 2 cutoff frequency. One is omega C1 and another one is the omega C2. So that's basically highlight the key difference between ideal and practical filter. We have to deal with the practical filter. Ideal filter are good for understanding, but practical situation you have to interact with this kind of filter. Second is the ideal high pass and practical high pass filter. So this is your ideal high pass filter. And here the situation is now different. Beyond omega c, you have a pass band, and before omega c, you have a stop band. And again, in stop band, you have amplitude exactly equal to 0, and in the pass band, you have amplitude exactly equal to 1. But if we compare it with the practical filter, so we have a situation like this. So we have some stop band, then we have a pass band, and then we have some fluctuation in the pass band as well. So this indicates delta 2. Sorry, this is not delta 1, this is delta 2. And this is indicating 1 plus delta 1 over 1 minus delta 1. Same we have defined in the previous case. But here you need to define delta W by omega pass minus omega stop. यहाँ से आप देख लेंगे the difference is your omega pass is higher than omega stop. So that's basically indicate the difference between pass band frequency and the stop band frequency. Similarly, in case of a band pass filter, in ideal case you need two cutoff frequencies. One cutoff frequency from where your actual band pass start, and the other another frequency which indicates where your pass band basically ends, right? So before pass band you have some ripple, then at the peak you have some ripple, and even beyond omega s2 you have some ripple. So these two basically indicating stop band ripple, and this is indicating pass band ripple. Maybe you have some, this amplitude of these ripples may be different from that ripple. Sorry, that's not shear. Right, so that's the difference between ideal and practical band pass filters. So you have this cutoff frequency. Before cutoff frequency you have no band. Beyond second cutoff frequency again there is stop band, and in between these two cutoff frequency you have a pass band region, right? So that's how you can differentiate between ideal filters and practical filter. Now let's try to understand the ideal filter in the time and ideal filter in the frequency domain, and then practical filters in the time domain and practical filters in the frequency domain. If you remember in the last lecture, we said that there is a relationship between sink and direct signal. Our sink, a low pass filter. Our sink in time domain is basically a low pass filter in the frequency domain, right? So this is a sink that is running in time domain from minus infinity to plus infinity. Assume this is sampled one, not the continuous one, but it is sampled one. If you take the Fourier transform, you will have this situation, rect. And if you see this part, red part, this is exactly the low pass filter. You have a pass band which have amplitude exactly 1. You have a stop band which have an amplitude exactly 0, right? So, okay, that's fine. This is ideal sink. This is ideal low pass filter. But there is some problem with this sink. The first problem, P1, is infinite duration. The second problem is non-causal. So we need to handle these two problems with some tricks. So what's the solution? So these two problems can be handled easily with the help of S1 and S2, solution 1 and solution 2. So solution 1 is the cut operation. If it is running from minus infinity to infinity, so you can make it limited by cutting it from minus 100 to 100, or minus 200 to plus 200, minus 40 to plus 40, or minus 8 to plus 8. It's up to you depending upon the requirement. The higher the number of samples, the higher the order of filter. The higher the order of filter, the higher the hardware you require. The higher the processing time you require to gain the filtering out of that filter, right? So it all depends on practical situation where you are applying your filter. But of course, if you are applying filter from minus 2000 to plus 2000, have much better quality compared to the filter you are designing from minus 4 to 4, or minus 8 to 8, or minus 16 to 16, right? So larger the number of samples mean larger the order of filter. Larger the order of filter mean better is the quality. So that's we understand if we perform a cut operation, so we can cut it from -100 to 100. In that case, the order of this filter would be 201 because minus 100 sample on the left side, 100 sample on the right side, and there is one sample on 0. If we delay it, so it would run from 0 to 200. And again, if you count number of samples from 0 to 200, it would be 201. So order of this filter would be 201. But when you perform cut and delay operation, what will happen in the frequency domain? That's really important. So in ideal case, from -infinity to infinity, we have this sort of situation. But when we cut it and delay it, so we have a situation like this. So we have a ripples, we can see a ripples or fluctuation in the pass band. We can see a ripples and fluctuation in the stop band. And then there is a transition appear between pass band and stop band, right? This transition would be equal to 0. We can make this transition reduce to 0 by increasing number of samples from 201 to infinity. If we increase the number of sample up to infinity, we may have this ideal situation like ideal filter, right? So this transition is linked with the order of filter. The larger the order of filter, the smaller is the transition. Smaller is the order of filter, the larger is the transition. If the order of filter is 5, so you may have this much transition. If the order is 2000, you have this much transition. If the order is infinity, you may have straight vertical bar. You are jumping from 1 to 0, right? So that's how you are dealing with ideal and practical filters. So we can see that this is the time domain ideal filter. This is the frequency domain ideal filter. And this is time domain practical filter. This is the time domain frequency domain practical filter response, right? So this is time domain response of a practical filter. This is the frequency domain response of a practical filter. So up till here we have covered in the last lecture. So from onward we are going to start our today's lecture, right? So before proceeding, any question from your side? Okay, next we need to understand that design is based on some requirement. You are designing some system based on the requirement of a system. For example, if you are hire some civil engineering firm to basically make your house, so you have some design in your mind that I want 3 bedrooms, I want some open area in the backyard, I want some open area in the front side, maybe I want bigger carports for 2 cars or maybe for 3 cars. This sort of thing already have in your mind, right? And you want that you want bigger kitchen, smaller kitchen, large bedroom or small bedroom, right? So what these things, these are basically the requirement from your side towards the civil जो फॉर्म है जिससे आप अपना घर बनवाना चाह रहे हैं, basically you want to construct your home. So these are the requirement for them. ऐसे ही है. Same is the case whenever someone comes towards you to design a low pass filter, so he or she either bring these sort of equations. Let me bring them in the red color. So either they come up with the filter specification in equation form like this, or they may come up some equation in the pictorial form. Right, so you have either pictorial data or you have some mathematical data. So you have to understand both in order to anyway, either it is given in this form. Let me write it with equation as well, if possible. So they may be given you these specs So either it will be like this. You have 1.0.99. This could be less than equal to you have h e to raise for j omega and again you should have 1.01. 1.01. You have another criteria for the stop band. You can assume that this might be 0.1173, 0.17783. Right, so this is pass band, so you can consider that this might be from 0 to 0.75 because you need to give the frequency range. So you can consider that from omega omega should be greater than 0. And it should be less than 0.75. Right, so at 0 to 0.75 you have passband region, and from 0.85 to 0.85 it's a stop band region. So these are the filter specs. So if any guy comes to you, he or she will come up with this filter specs, or he will come up this sort of diagram in front of you. So that is basically a blueprint for you to design your low pass filter. So from these equation, you have to find out 4 quantities: delta 1, delta 2, omega pass, and omega stop. So anyone can find delta 1 out of this equation. I don't know why system behaving like this, but anyway. What is the value of delta 1? How you pass band error? So there are 2 equations, first equation and second equation. There are 2 lines, first line and second line. So which line is basically indicating pass band? Why first line? Why second Q? जी जी, जिन्होंने सेकंड कहा है कोई रीजन होगी उसके पीछे? हाई पास 0 to 0.7 exactly. because if you remember from low pass filter, the magnitude in the pass band is basically exactly closer to 1, and the magnitude in the stop band is closer to 0. So if we see these two line requirements or filter specification, the first line indicates that the magnitude response would be closer to 1 in the first line, and the magnitude response closer to 0.17783 in the second line. So first line indicating the pass band, the second one indicating the stop band. It means that delta 1 can be outcome or can be extracted from the first line. Delta 2 can be extracted from the second line. Similarly, omega pass can be extracted from the first line, and omega stop can be extracted from the second line. So from here you can infer that omega pass delta 1 is 0.01. How you calculated it? 1 minus delta 1. 1 minus delta 1 is equal to 0.99, or 1 plus delta 1 is equal to 1.01. ऐसे ही है. So from here you can extract delta 1. Delta 2 can be extracted directly, 0.17783. Similarly, omega pass is the, you can't take 0 as omega pass. So 0.75 7 pi is basically the omega pass, 0.8 pi is the omega stop. And the difference between omega stop and omega pass would indicate delta omega, right? So now you can drive this sort of line directly from here. जी भाई. Okay, fine. Any confusion? So this your example number 7.1 is basically exactly the symbol, and not the same but similar. I think he used different values like 0.89125 to 1, and then 0.17783 in the stop band. And then the value of omega pass and omega stop would also be different. Try to solve your example number 7.1 at your home. That, right? So just to understand, this is example number 1 is basically give you an idea how to read the requirement from a guy that is coming to you for the design of a low pass filter, right? So first you have understand the specification. That's fine. You know that this might be transition region, and depending upon transition region, it will give you idea that what kind of order of filter you can use in the design of this low pass filter, right? For every jitni 0.78, we use the values 0.7 pi to 0.8 pi. So there is a difference of 0.1 pi. If we increase the difference, for example, 0.5 pi and 0.8 pi, it means we are increasing the transition, and increasing the transition means we are reducing the order of filter. So in this case, the order of filter is high. But if I change 0.7 pi with the 0.4 pi, then the order of filter would be significantly reduced. So it's mean that these specs will basically change the design of your filter. Okay? So let me open MATLAB here. In parallel, then I'll try to relate these concepts from FDA tool as well. But for time being, so up till here, you got the requirement from the client, and you wrote it down that omega pass, omega stop, delta 1 and delta 2 is this sort of system is required. Now, very important part. So once you have a clear idea about the requirement specification of a system, next step is the design. Next step is the design. So if you see this diagram, there are 4 blocks, and these 4 blocks are more than enough to understand the entire process behind the IAR filter design. If you go and read first 6 pages, so I think OpenIM explained these 4 steps in the first 6 pages of chapter number 7. So that is basically the text representation, but I think it's easy to understand things in pictorial form. So let me relate one example with it to basically clarify the concept. So I am giving this example from 2007 onward. So if you see the diagram, so these are the specs: omega pass, omega stop, delta 1, delta 2, right? So you have discrete time specs. Why it is called discrete time specs? Because you have discrete specs, omega stop, omega pass. You don't need continuous time specs. So it's a discrete frequency as well. So if you want to design, so what does it mean by design? पहले तो ये बताएं कि what you infer from a design of a filter or design of a system. What first comes in your mind when you see or read design of a filter? What does it mean? Structure is the implementation, it's not design. Sorry? Specs mean that is required, but design, you have to design. So what design means? What is, let me reiterate question. What is the ultimate objective for the design of a filter? जब आप डिजाइन करने के आपको क्या मिले? वो एप्लीकेशन है, एप्लीकेशन क्या जब आप डिजाइन करेंगे तो आपको क्या मिले? हार्डवेयर नहीं मिलेगा. You can implement it on a software. We have done it. But what is the objective? What to expect by designing a system? आप सिस्टम को किससे रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं? HFN से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं, HFZ से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. And specifically, if you talk about implementation, chapter number 6, we always interested in HFZ. ऐसे ही है. So that's why our objective is to find this HFZ. This is HDZ. So this is our objective. But keep in mind, we are not achieving objective directly. We can jump from here to here. That's possible. And that we jump from here to here in FIR filter design. But in IER filter design, we are not jumping in directly from here to here. Rather, we first go to the analog domain. Then we are using Butterworth, Chebyshev, elliptical. These are analog filter design techniques. These are not discrete filter design techniques. So we are designing it in analog domain. We are finding IC of S and Laplace. Keep in mind, Laplace transform is basically used to design your analog system or continuous time system. ऐसे ही है. You already done this in your earlier classes. I think you design RL circuits, RLC circuits, and then you bring RLC circuits into the S domain as S plus J omega and something S plus J omega C, something like this. ऐसे ही. So you are already familiar with this one. And then after designing everything, we are coming back to Z domain. So, but question arises, why we not jump from here to here? Right? So that's you have to understand, and I will definitely try to understand, clarify this concept. So first thing, you are not going to design IAR filter directly in the discrete domain. So note down it. You are not going to design IAR filter in the discrete domain. Rather, you design IAR filter in the analog domain. This is a very strange phenomena. I am repeating it, strange phenomena. And you have to understand it, and you have to find the logic behind it. Okay, why it's so? Why we need to go to the analog domain and then open up the analog domain and design it in continuous domain and then come back towards the discrete domain. ठीक है? Clarify हुआ? This is really important to first understand that Butterworth, Chebyshev, elliptical. These are all analog filter design techniques, but your course is discrete time signal processing. So this is little bit conflicting that we are taking discrete time signal processing, but filter is another very important part of signal processing. Almost every signal processing system must or should have some filtering system. ऐसे ही है ना? So it's mean if filter is really integral part of your signal processing system, so why we have to design them in analog? ठीक है, इसकी लॉजिक आपको पता होनी चाहिए. Let me use an example. तो आपको भूख लगी, आपने डिनर करना. आपके पास दो तरीके हैं. पहला तरीका यह है कि आप डिनर को घर बनाएं. आप शादीशुदा हैं तो आपकी मिसेज को 1 घंटा चूल्हे के आगे खड़ा होना पड़ेगा, आलू काटने पड़ेंगे, प्याज काटना पड़ेगा, छीलना पड़ेगा, ठीक? उसके बाद अच्छा खासा स्पेंड टाइम ऑन कुकिंग, राइट? और उसके बाद अच्छा बनता है नहीं बनता, दिस इज सेकेंड इम्पॉर्टेंट कंसर्न। थर्ड, जैसा भी बना है चलिए आपने बिस्मिल्लाह पढ़ के खा लिया, फिर उसके बाद आपकी मिसेज को बर्तन भी धोने पड़ेंगे, ऐसे ही। तो दिस इज लिटिल बिट लॉट ऑफ वर्क हैव टू बी डन फ्रॉम स्क्रैच, ऐसे ही। अल्टरनेट ऑप्शन क्या हो सकती है? यू टेक अ राइड, गो टू रेस्टोरेंट, don't need to cook, just sit on a table. Maybe you need to wait for 15 minutes. There's a tasty, spicy, crunchy food in front of you. Just eat it and come back to your home. Your wife doesn't need to cook, doesn't need to wash, right? So, which is more advantageous? Everything has its own advantages. If we cook at home, we don't need to go out. We just relax in our AC room. Don't need to worry about it. So, refer to this example. Consider कि आप अगर घर में खाना खाते हैं तो आप डायरेक्टली जाम करते हैं. आप अगर घर में खाना करते हैं तो you are directly designing your filter in the discrete domain. But what we prefer, we are not. In case of IIR filter, हम क्या करेंगे? हम घर में खाना नहीं खाएंगे. We'll go to restaurant. अब रेस्टोरेंट में हमने जाने, ऑफ कोर्स जाने और आने के लिए हमें कोई मोड ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन यूज करना पड़ेगा. इस फिल्टर डिजाइन के केस में एक रिस्ट्रिक्शन सिर्फ ये है कि अगर आप क्रीम पे गए हैं तो क्रीम पे वापस आए, अगर बाइक पे गए हैं तो बाइक पे वापस आए. ये नहीं हो सकता कि बाइक पे जाके क्रीम पे वापस आए. अंडरस्टैंड करें? यू नीड वन स्कीम. So there are two schemes. One is known as impulse invariance, the other one is known as bilinear transformation. MATLAB is using bilinear transformation, and in दोनों में अगर कंपेयर किया जाए तो bilinear transformation is better. But keep in mind, if you are moving with bilinear transformation, so you are coming back with bilinear transformation, green part. But if you are moving with if you are moving with impulse invariance, so you are coming back with impulse invariance. But if you are moving with bilinear transformation, blue part, then you are coming back using blue part, bilinear transformation. So green पे जाएंगे, green पे वापस आएंगे. But if you are moving with your own convince, you are coming back with your own convince. That's the little bit limitation with this filter design mechanism, right? So we don't want to cook it directly at home. We just take a ride, reach to the hotel, have prepared food, just eat it and come back home. So our objective is achieved, right? तो अब इस केस में देखिए आपको एडवांटेज क्या है कि होटल में जो लोग खाना बना रहे हैं उनका अच्छा खासा एक्सपीरियंस है. तो वहाँ पे कोई एक स्पेसिफिक डिश जो है, किसी एक होटल में एक डिश अच्छी होती है, आधी डिश अच्छी नहीं ऐसे, तो वहाँ पे एक्सपर्टीज उनकी ज़्यादा है. तो इस वजह से हाईली लाइकली है कि आपको अच्छा खाना मिलेगा और उसके अपने एडवांटेज. सेम इज अ केस इन IER filter design. Having said that, you are in 6th semester, so you have some experience with the analog filter design now, right? You have designed, if not designed, but at least you analyze it. If you talk about analog filter design, so there is a work of I think 5 to 6 decades, 50 to 60 years. लोग filter को कब से use कर रहे हैं? ऐसे ही ना, especially to female आटा भूनना जानती हैं, they use लेकिन आटा को वो जिसको हम वो कहते हैं, तो they are using that filter. So that is basically kind of filter. Anyway, so you are using these analog filter from more than 3 decades. So imagine really the difference between S1 and S22, S21. So just 1 decade का difference है, but S1 को उठा के देखने, S21 को उठा के देखने, hell of difference. Memory is high, battery time is very large. S1 में तो आप फोन के साथ I don't know if you have used extra battery भी आप चार्ज करते हैं. I don't know it, but in Korea every phone has extra dock and battery. तो वो हर एक के पास वो बैटरी होती थी, वो लगाते थे, खत्म हो जाती थी, फिर दोबारा लगा दो, उसको चार्ज करवाते थे. That's how they are working in Galaxy S1 and S2 till S3. बल्कि S4 के साथ भी आती थी, S5 के साथ भी मैंने देखी है. उसके बाद से ये बैटरी थोड़ी सी टेक्नोलॉजी इम्प्रूव की है, तो we remove that battery, right? So यहाँ पे 10 साल डिफरेंट काम देख लो, but लॉट ऑफ एडवांटेज. So similarly in analog case लोगों ने इस पे इतना ज़्यादा काम किया हुआ था कि you have a lot of refined जो आपके पास ट्रांसफर फंक्शन है और डिजाइन टेक्निक्स हैं अवेलेबल, तो आप इसे जाने और खोलने से आपको ट्रांसफर फंक्शन मिल जाए, ट्रांसफर फंक्शन भी एचएफएस आपको मिल जाए और उसको फिर आपने क्या कर लेना है, उसको कन्वर्ट कर देना है एचएफवी। Ultimately objective is to find HFN and HFV. This is the ultimate objective for designing of a filter or designing of a system, because we are considering filter as a system. So got the idea? Logic समझ में आ गई कि क्यों हम जा रहे हैं? Definitely if we don't have advantage, so we will not go there. So already क्योंकि IAR filter design की जो टेक्निक्स हैं बटरवर्थ, टेम्परेचर और इलेक्ट्रिकल दे आर मैच्योर इनफ कि हमने नहीं सोचा कि हम अपने यहाँ से स्टार्ट करें, क्योंकि अगर हम अपना यहाँ पे डायरेक्टली आईआर फिल्टर डिजाइन करते तो इट वुड टेक अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम टू गेट राइट। ठीक है, तो अगर कोई खाना नया ना बनाना सीखे, जैसे वी वेंट फॉर थ्री फ्रेंड, अब हमें किसी को भी खाना नहीं बनाना है, तो आफ्टर 2 days हमारे पास होगी, क्योंकि आपको नीड सम आपकी देसी फूड आपको चाहिए। देन वी फर्स्ट कुक और राइस, तीनों ने मिलकर हमने तो सिर्फ हम नहीं खा सकते, वी कैन ओनली बाय आवरसेल्फ, बट एनीवे सो बट आफ्टर दैट I spent 3 years in Korea and 1 year Canada, but now I can cook rice little bit better, right? So this is a part of experience. So 4 years required. So it's mean that if we design the filter directly in discrete domain, it will take time to do. But already analog filter design story is too much mature. That's why we prefer to design them in the analog. Story समझ में आ गई? So this story is explained by the OpenAIM in the first 6-7 pages of your chapter number 7. Now I think with this block diagram, if you go there, you will feel much comfortable compared to the directly reading there. Now let me talk a little bit more on this filter design. So if you see this block diagram, so this block diagram basically explains 4 design techniques. This one, Butterworth, Chebyshev, type 1, Chebyshev, type 2, and elliptical. These are analog filter design techniques. And there are 2 conversion or transformation techniques. One is the impulse invariance, the other one is the bilinear transformation. So don't try to mix transformation and the design techniques. So bilinear and impulse invariance, they are not design techniques, they are transformation techniques, and rest are design techniques. One more point need to stress, OpenAIM only stressed on Butterworth design technique in chapter number 7. So that's it means that you have to consider only the Butterworth design techniques for this course, right? So Butterworth the transfer function, if we see the transfer function of Butterworth filter, so this is the transfer function, SCJ omega mod k is equal to 1 over 1 plus omega over omega c raised power to n. So यहाँ पे देख लें आपके पास 2 important factors आ रहे हैं, omega c is the cutoff frequency and n is the capital N is the order of filter. So you have 2 distinct parameters in the Butterworth design. One is the cutoff frequency, the other one is the order of filter. ठीक है? And if you are using impulse invariance method, then this is the analog frequency. ये जो आपको ohm type frequency नजर आ रही है, this is analog frequency. This is the analog frequency, and this is W type. Omega is basically the discrete frequency. So you are converting your analog discrete frequency into analog frequency, and reverse is operating here. You have IC of S. You take inverse Laplace transform, you will get IC of t. And here you perform sampling, you will get H of n. You know that after performing sampling, you get discrete signal. So SCT is basically the continuous time signal. And after performing sampling, it would be H of n, that is discrete signal. And once you have a discrete signal, your job is easy. We are taking Z transform and computing H of Z. ऐसे ही है. So that's we can do in impulse invariance case. However, in case of bilinear transformation, you have direct relationship. 2 pi Td tan of omega by 2 and S is equal to 2 pi Td 1 minus the inverse or 1 plus the inverse. It means wherever you have s, replace every s with 2 by dt, 1 minus the inverse over 1 plus z inverse. You got the idea? Let's together solve example 7.2 and I'll solve example 7.2. Be careful, 7.3 is exactly same thing. You just need to replace impulse invariance with bilinear transformation. That's only the difference. Rest is everything is same. Example 7.2, you have a 12 poles, but you select 6 poles. Example 7.3, again you have a 12 poles and you select 6 poles. Right? So same. Number of poles are same, everything is same. Only few values are changed, and that is matter of calculation, not matter of understanding. Keep in mind. So if you understand example 7.2, design of a low pass filter using Butterworth technique and impulse invariance technique. Example 7.3, design of a low pass filter using Butterworth design technique and bilinear transformation. Right? So let me write. If you allow me, let me close this file and then reopen this file because I think there's some issue. I cannot use pen. So let's start example 7.2 and we'll use these 4 blocks just for understanding, and we'll try that how these blocks are useful. Sorry? हो सकते हैं. There might be 2 poles, there might be 10 poles, there might be 20 poles, 24 poles. Even में होंगे. Because they exist in pair. Because if you see, it's n square. So they exist in conjugate pair. Because they are in complex plane. So if a pole in complex plane, it must exist in conjugate pair. Otherwise, your multiplication would become complex. And you know that 2 complex number would have 4 multiplication and 3 addition. I say a plus iota b into c plus iota d. So you have 4 multiplication and 3 addition. So it would become, and if it is growing exponentially, so you could imagine the amount of calculation you need to solve that system. So if you see your example 7.2, it would be like this. So you are giving specs. greater than equal to 0.89125. It should be less than equal to 1, and it's from omega greater than equal to 0, less than equal to omega 2 pi. And this would be h e to raise power j omega mod. It should be less than equal to 0.17783, and it's starting from omega. Since we use equal here, so this is 0.3 pi less than equal to pi. So these are the filter specification given to you, and you are asked to basically design IAR filter using Butterworth design and impulse invariance transformation techniques, right? So allow me to move to next page. Let me write here design. Design a low pass filter IIR using Butterworth and impulse invariance techniques. So from your background, you know that Butterworth is the design technique and impulse invariance is the conversion scheme. Now you need to draw that 4 blocks. So anybody help me to find omega pass, delta 1, delta 2, omega pass and omega stop. But before that, let me draw the Butterworth transfer function representation. If you see the Butterworth algorithm, you don't have pass band ripple, you don't have stop band ripple. So you have Butterworth algorithm like this, filter like this. This is Butterworth. So what you infer from here, this representation. Butterworth does not allow pass band ripple, does not allow stop band ripple. So it's mean that comparing Butterworth with elliptical Chebyshev type 1, type 2, it is good or bad compared to elliptical and Chebyshev filter. It is good or bad? It is good because it is not allowing pass band error, it's not allowing stop band error. No ripples in the pass band, mean no error in the stop pass band and no error in the stop band. So that's why it is good, but it is more expensive than elliptical or Chebyshev filter. Expensive mean higher order. I explained earlier that higher the order, more expensive is the order. More expensive is the calculation. So if you are given a filter specs and you are asked to design, if you design it with Butterworth algorithm, you will have a very high order, maybe 32 order. But if you can design the same system with elliptical system with the order 4, right? So that's a difference. So keep in mind, if we apply these specs 0.89125, right, for Butterworth filter. So what is the value of omega pass? 0.2 pi, right? So your value of omega pass, let's first, let me draw four blocks level diagram. That will help you to clearly understand the design process. So you need 4 steps. In the first step, what you are trying to find? You're trying to find omega pass, omega stop, delta 1, delta 2. And then you will use this relationship. And you will come to this level, omega pass, omega stop, delta 1, delta 2. And then you apply only the Butterworth because you are designing with Butterworth. So HC j omega mod square is equal to 1 over 1 plus omega over omega c raised power 2n. So you apply Butterworth's design technique. This is impulse invariance technique. And here you will get a C of S. And then you'll come back again to H of Z. D stand for discrete, C stand for continuous. But here what you need to do, you need to convert HC of S into HC of T. This is inverse Laplace transform. And then you find H of N. And then you need to take Z transform to convert HC of S into HC of T. So this is the block diagram you will use for the design of given low pass filter. Any confusion? No? So first, what is omega pass? Let me write the parameters here. What is the omega pass? 0.2 pi. What is the omega stop? 0.3 pi. What is omega, delta 1. 1 minus 0.89125. But since in our case, delta 1 and delta 2 would not be really significant. I'll explain how. Delta 1, what is delta 2? 0.1778 ठीक है बेटा? And what about this omega pass? Let's take t is equal to, for simplicity, let's take t is equal to 1. If we'll take t is equal to 1, your omega ohm will be equal to omega. ऐसे ही है? This means that this is equal to omega. So it means we can replace this value that omega pass would be equal to 0.2 pi. Omega stop would be equal to 0.3 pi. Delta 1 and delta 2, they will remain same, 1 minus 0.89125. And delta 2 would be 0.17783. So from here, I was here. No, I traveled here. So I was at home. Now I reached restaurant. No, I can eat the food here. You got the idea? Sorry? 0.3 pi. Right? So, step number 1. So let me write here step number 1. Find filter specs. Step number 2. Step 2. Convert DC specs into right. So we can. This is your step number 1 to find discrete time filter specs, and step number 2, you need to convert into continuous time specs. So here we converted discrete time specs into the continuous time specs. What is step number 3? Step Step 3, apply Butterworth design. Right, apply Butterworth design. How you apply Butterworth design? Let me write the equation. Anybody can see the ohm symbol here? So this is your Butterworth equation. It's visible. So how many unknowns? 2 unknowns, omega c and n. How many equations you need? You need 2 equations. Can you make 2 equations out of this equation? Oh, sorry. This is not W omega, this is ohm omega. Right? So you can make 2 equations. How? You can replace this ohm with omega pass and replace this ohm with omega stop. कर सकते हैं? You will get 1 equation for omega pass band, you will get 1 equation for stop band. And then you have 2 equations, you have 2 unknowns, you can solve them simultaneously, and then you can find n and omega c. Let me help you to make 2 equations. We have 2 unknowns. We have 2 unknowns, and so we need we need 2 equations. So let's first form the equation. How you can make this equation? Just replace this omega with omega pass. जहाँ पे आपके पास simple omega आ रहा है, continuous omega, replace it with omega pass. Can I do this? I don't know, it's behaving too strange today. This is omega pass, agree? So this is your equation 1. Let's name it equation number 1. You make another equation. You can replace this stop band, you can replace this P with S. And you can replace this P with S. Right? This is coordinate equation number 2. Right, so now you need to simultaneously solve these two equations. What would be the amplitude at pass band frequency, left hand side? See the equation 0.89125 to 1 for 0 to omega 0.2 pi and 0.17783 for omega 0.3 pi to pi. So what would be the value of omega pass? It's 1 or 0.89125? 0.81925, because you see the Butterworth response is monotonically decreasing function. So if you see this, so this is a monotonically decreasing function. Monotonically decreasing function means every next value would be lesser than the previous value. आप इसको देख लें कि next value हमेशा आपसे previous से छोटी है. So at 0, its value is exactly 1, but your omega pass is at 0.25. The value would be 0.8925, and at omega stop, its amplitude would be 0.17783. Agree? Agree करते हैं? So let me redo the same steps. So let me. What would be the value I can replace? I can replace the internal values. I can replace this by 0.89125 का scale. Right? And here I can replace omega pass. If you remember, I can replace this with what value? 1? 0.2 pi. Yes, that's the right answer. 0.2 pi. ठीक है बेटा? And then how I can replace these values? Let me copy this value. I can replace this 0.17783, 0.17783, and what will be the value of stop band? Let me call this 1A. Let me call it 1B. Can you solve 1A and 1B yourself? How? Write down the steps. देखें आपके पास 1 plus 0.3 pi. Square. We are using the same formula. We are not changing anything. Right? So this is square. It's not multiply. Right? So you need to square. आप kindly अभी कर लें अगर किसी के पास कैलकुलेटर है पॉइंट व्हाट इज द स्क्वायर ऑफ 0.89125 आई थिंक इट वुड बी 31 point something no 1.7 something and 0.17783 square is I guess it would be around 31 point something. No, it's wrong. 0.89 का कितना आ रहा है? No, sorry. First need to take reciprocal and then need to take square. आप पहले reciprocate करेंगे 1a और 1b को फिर उसका square लेंगे. So 1 over 0.891235. क्लास में था if you take the reciprocal and then take square, so इसका आपके पास क्या आ जाएगा? One point. Let me write here. Take reciprocal. Both sides and then subtract 1. Because जब आप reciprocal, if you take the reciprocal, so it would become 1 plus 0.2 pi over point omega c raised power 2n. And 1.25, you can subtract 1 from 1.25. It would become 0.25, right? ऐसे ही बेटा. So its closing time is approaching. So let me write solve 1a and 1b. Simplify and find values let me give you the answer. When you solve it, n would be equal to 5.7 5 या 76 and cutoff frequency would be 0.7032 and omega c and we will round off it approximately equal to 6, right? So I would expect that now it's very easy. Let me give you one more hint. You take reciprocal and subtract 1. So if it is 1 over 0.89125 is 1.25 minus 1, it would become 0.25. And if you take the reciprocal of 0.17783 and it would become 31 point something, you can subtract 1, it would become 30 point something, right? On the right hand side, you will see omega 0.2 pi over omega c raised power 2n. Now since it is a power, so जब power में चीज आ रही है तो आप क्या करेंगे? Take log both sides. You need to take logarithm both sides. आप log लेंगे दोनों साइड के ऊपर, फिर उसको सिंप्लीफाई करेंगे, फिर एक इक्वेशन से n फाइंड आउट करेंगे और उसको दूसरी इक्वेशन में फीड करके आप ओमेगा सी की वैल्यू निकाल दें, राइट? सो पहले n की वैल्यू फीड करेंगे. Normally you are doing this in your 6th 7th standard class, or if not maybe 11th or 12th standard. You already done this, so hopefully you will reach to the conclusion of n and omega c, right? So this is the normal step. the most important thing to note here, you have to follow this diagram. If you follow this diagram, you will never be disappointed because it will explain the entire working process. So keep in mind, we are here. We just use this relationship. We reach there. Then we use this equation. And after this equation, we found n and omega c. Next time, we'll see that with the help of n and omega c, how we will find ICFS. And then after finding ICFS, how we can find HFC. Right? So we'll follow this 4-block diagram for the design of your IAR system. Right? So with this, I'm concluding and closing today's lecture. If anyone have any question, he or she can ask.